Is the theory big bait, big fish?
Bob, today, hopefully, we're going to catch big northerns, big walleyes, big smallmouth, and everybody is of this opinion, when conditions are tough, smaller and smaller. As you know, you start every day aggressively. You end, if you have to finesse, end the day finessing, but why wouldn't you start off aggressively? We look at that as plastic and lead, but look that's just a 5-inch minnow swimming by.
So they look at it as, oh, that looks like a big bait fish going by.
T-bone steak.
All right.
Coming up. On this week's episode, Bob's in Kenora, Ontario, fishing with his friend and Real Fishing Radio co-host Gord Pizer. Gord introduces Bob to a new technique for catching big walleye and other species using Berkeley swim baits. The boys slam the walleye on Lake of the Woods, even when facing cold front conditions. And Bob and Gord talk about planning your next trip fishing in Ontario.
Wow. Thump, thump, thump. There we go, boys. That is awesome.
Look at that magnificent fish. Way down there.
Isn't that sweet? Look at the size of that fish.
There he is again.
The color is incredible. Yeah, that's a nice one.
The Real Fishing Show with Bob Izumi.
All right. That is a big rainbow trout, Chris. Double headers. Whoa!
Nice jump.
Yeah. All right. Man, that is so cool. Another one, there we go. All right. Look at that chunk.
Real Fishing is sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water, and Tim Hortons.
On the Real Fishing Show, we make catching fish like this a possibility. I'm here by the biggest muskie in the world, right here in northwestern Ontario, in Kenora, Ontario. It's my old buddy, Gord Pizer. Gord, I mean, you and I have done the Real Fishing Radio Show for so long I can't even remember. We're in your hometown, and you're gonna put me on something I've never really done before, and that's an aggressive way of catching walleyes.
Using swim baits, Bob, and the interesting thing is, and you saw, as you say, we've shot so many shows fishing muskies. Usually we're hitting things, we're ricocheting, and we've always said about muskies, fish them as fish. Well, do the same with walleyes. Everybody's got this preconceived notion that walleyes have always got their bellies on the bottom. They're always kind of turned off, they're neutral, negative, and that's just not the case. There usually are, when you do find walleyes like that, there's two ways you can approach it. You can finesse them, but as we've talked about on the radio show so many times, you are a product of kind of what you're doing. You're a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you fish them finessey and slow and you think they're going to be tough to catch, they are. But when you throw that swim bait and fish them and say, come on guys, let's rock and roll, they rock and roll.
I can't wait to try it. One thing about Gord is he's one of the most innovative anglers I know. And Gord, I know you've caught your share of giant muskies. Well, not quite as big as the one behind us. Out here on Lake of the Woods, I'm excited. Let's go get set up and get out there. It's a little windy, it's a little cold, but I think it'll be good. What do you think?
I guarantee it will.
All righty, sounds good. Fall of the year, water temperature starting to drop a bit. Gordon, obviously you want to dress for the occasion and have a number of layers of clothing on. The other thing is personal flotation devices. It really is a good idea in rough waters like this to wear a PFD, isn't it?
The honest truth, Bob, they're so good now, it's a good idea to wear them all the time.
It is.
No excuse.
And today, we're wearing these sterns, and these are manual inflating, so if by chance you fall in, all you have to do is just pull this, and it's going to inflate. And I'm not going to pull it because I'm having too much fun fishing.
There you go.
Feel like a good one, Gord? I don't know, your rod's pretty bent. I don't think that's a little one, the way.
No, it isn't. If it's a wally.
Oh, nice
good
walleye. Oh, yeah, good one, Gord. Good fish. Oh, he just spit up a big bait fish. Look at that, floating there.
Aha.
See the seagull? The seagull's getting it.
Gee, the seagull
now
got
this
it.
is called the natural food chain on Lake of the Woods, where, you know, the bottom line is you just don't know. If a fish spits up a minnow, it does not go to waste. Gord, nice one.
Isn't that
All right, that was a different color, Gord.
very almost a greenback? Isn't
Yeah.
it?
All right.
Isn't that pretty?
Okay, pop them in.
But look at, he popped out of the net as soon as we netted him.
All right, you did a little trick with your hollow belly too,
I did.
didn't you?
And it's amazing how sometimes this works.
What did you do with that Berkeley hollow belly?
You know, it's quite amazing because they're made obviously with the hook the way you've got yours rigged, Bob. But two things, you get a totally different tail wag when you put it flip it on its side.
Okay,
So
so
that's-
here's the difference. There's standard.
Standard, and then you put it on its side. Now that's crazy. There are some days when the vast majority of the fish want it that way. The other thing is when you've used yours and caught 10, 15 fish, switch it over, catch another 10, 15 this way.
Gord, this is a trick on how to save money on baits.
Scottish swim baiting.
Very cool. Okay, where's that buoy? What do you think? We pick up that buoy, Gord, and hit another spot?
I think that's a great idea.
All right.
When we return, Bob and Gord talk swim bait techniques for catching walleye. Stay tuned. Closed captioning is brought to you by boaterexam.com. Let's take a look down under with this week's Fish Eye View, sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water. These days, many anglers practice catch and release. When it's time to keep a few, selective harvest is the way to go. Because one male can mate with several females, it's best to retain a higher percentage of these. Knowing the difference can be a challenge. Trout and salmon are the easiest to separate. Mature males invariably have larger, longer heads with varying degrees of hooked jaws. Full-bodied females have noticeably smaller, blunt heads. At the same age, male perch are smaller and more slender than big, heavy-set females. Less palatable spawners like this are best released to procreate the species. The same goes for walleye and pike. Mandatory slot size restrictions protect spawning class females while prompting the harvest of males. Panfish, like bluegills, pumpkin seeds, and crappie, are a bit tougher to sex. Mature males are slightly darker and more colorful. Most have a distinct hump or shouldered look behind the head. Bass are undoubtedly the most difficult to separate. Subtle differences exist that even biologists can stumble on. When in doubt, better to be safe than sorry. And when it comes to trophies, a good photograph or fiberglass reproduction will ensure big fish for the future.
There you go. There you go.
No?
That's
Yes.
interesting.
Oh, no!
Time to go.
That fish
Let's
was
move.
huge.
That's unbelievable.
I couldn't, I thought it was snagged. And my rod, did you see my rod
I
start
did.
doing this? I honestly, whoops, did I just have another hit? I honestly thought, Gord, I was snagged. Now, I know you've got a zillion spots on Lake of the Woods. Boy, would I ever like to sell your GPS. That fish was a monster. Gord, do you think we should move, try another spot?
I thought. But now that makes me want to stay.
I know! Should we stay or should we go now?
There he is.
Got him? Nice. Oh, there he is. Nice one.
Wrapped in the marker
Oh,
bar.
yeah. Nice walleye. All right. Now, you're using a, what is that called? A flatback?
The flatback shad.
Flatback shad. And that's another one of the Berkeley baits. All right, Gord.
Cool. It forces you to fish aggressively.
All right. You can see there's a walleye right there, right on the break, just where it starts to drop down. And they seem to be at all depths. You know, they're hitting the swim bait anywhere from like 40 feet up to 24 feet. That's the cool thing, I guess, about a gourd with a big aggressive bait like this. You can cover the water column pretty efficiently, can't you? You know?
That is 100% the attraction, Bob. And you can't go light. Everybody, you know, on a flat, calm day, the natural assumption is, well, now I can go to 3/4 or 3/16 or 1/4. That is the biggest mistake you can make, even when it's flat, calm. 3/4, we're going 1 ounce in shallow water.
Oh, wow.
1 ounce, 3/4 of an ounce in 8 feet of water.
Oh, there's one. I just missed him. And I just marked him on the graph, too. See if he'll come back. Just marked him right on the graph.
Oh,
you
he
missed
backed
him?
me.
They're taunting us today. Feels pretty good. I love this long veracity. I can tuck the handle right into here to fight them. Man, oh man. Still down there a bit, Gord. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Woo, long
Alrighty.
boy. Boy, he's long.
Long and skinny.
Oh, gorgeous,
But look at
Robert.
the size of the head on him. And look at, hooked right in the top. That's where you want to hook him, eh, Gord?
It sure is.
Lip hooked. Very nice. That's a skinny one, too. Eh?
It is very.
Look at that. That is just too cool. Well, I just had rigged up a new hollow belly because I had lost the one. And, wow. Let's get him back in, Gord. Thank
Good
you,
man.
sir, for bringing me out here on Lake of the Woods for this phenomenal fishing. I mean, I'm telling you, it's just incredible. Wow. This is the funnest walleye fishing I've ever done during the daytime. At night, I've had some good nights.
Yes.
But this is just too much fun. This is like, I don't think I've ever aggressively fished walleyes during the day like this in my life. Cool.
More Lake of the Woods walleye action and some northern persuasion when we return. Stay tuned. This tip of the week is sponsored by Coleman, the outdoor company.
When you damage your prop, sometimes your lower unit also gets damaged. And this is the process I used to fix the skegs that are damaged in the same time as the propeller. First of all, I would straighten out the skeg. So now what I'm doing now is I'm preparing to make the pieces that are missing now. So I'm just gonna grind down any of the rough edges. What I'm basically doing here is I'm actually V'ing out the edges here. So when I add a piece on, when I weld it, it's going to have a nice, strong bonding. The next step is I have a template of the actual skeg that it's supposed to be. So now I'll all these lines. So basically that is the piece that I'm going to have to cut out and add on to this part here. So now I have the piece that I'm going to weld on, which will fit on here. And now I'm going to weld it, and then we'll grind away the excess again, and the skeg will be complete. Now that all the welding is done, what now I'm going to do is I'm going to grind away and shape out the skeg back to its original size. Now that all the welding and sanding is all done, or grinding, this is just have to be prepped for painting and painting. And once that's all done, the finished product will basically look just like this.
Oh, I got him.
You got him?
Oh, this is a good one.
Is it?
This
Oh,
is-
yeah.
Oh, no!
There we go.
I'm putting a pillow belly on. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night.
All right. Wow. Unbelievable, Gort. They're the average size. They're just such nice fish.
Bob, walleyes are one of the few fish, the bigger they grow, the bigger the bait they want. And if you were to put them in a pen, they would eat the biggest bait that you give them. So we make a huge mistake always going to those little tiny baits.
Right.
You want big trophy walleyes, the bigger the bait, the bigger the fish.
Very cool. And I noticed this one, Gord, it's got a little bit of a mark on it. And I'll just show the viewers on this side.
Yeah.
There's a mark. I wonder what that's all about.
Big northern or a muskie. There's 2 teeth marks.
So this would be a good sized meal for a northern or muskie, wouldn't it?
Sure would.
Okay, let's get this back in the water. And I'll just torpedo it in. All right. Cool. Gord, you can see that fish down there, like 28 feet of water right now. And
First one of us to get that swim bait there is going to get bit.
when they're off the bottom like that, they pretty aggressive, Gord?
Yes, even more.
So if they're a foot or two off the bottom, just drop a swim bait on them.
The key is to lift it at a fast enough rate you can feel the tail kick. Ooh. Oh, you see that? He doubled my rod over and I wasn't even moving it.
You snag bottom, Gord?
No. Oh, this is better fish.
Is it? Okay. Oh, nice pike. Here, hold on, Gord. You want to net them?
Or I'll grab them, Bob. And
Sure.
They have a tendency to twirl, eh?
Okay. Nice, Gord. Skinny one, eh?
Very,
Very nice, though.
very skinny.
Look at that. Look at that.
Wow, boy, he's,
Underprivileged. Oh, but look at he's fat here.
yeah, exactly.
That's weird. He's barrel-chested, Gord. He's like me in my younger days. Except nowadays mine slid down to here.
I'll let him go.
Yep, absolutely. Good stuff.
When we return, Bob and Gord talk about planning your next trip fishing in Ontario. Stay tuned.
Better one?
Oh, yeah.
Good going, Robert.
Alrighty. Look at the size of that dude. Wow. Alrighty.
Let me just get that out of this. There you go.
He's got big teeth, Gord. Hey, Gord, you know, we've missed a few today, and normally they engulf this, you were saying, pretty good. Today on Lake of the Woods, this rocking and rolling here, oh, I just missed one right there.
See, that's so rare, Robert, so rare. Normally they swallow it. Now, as I told you, all you see is the jig head sticking out their mouth.
Right.
And I guarantee the weather's got something to do with it. And the other thing, on the Lowrance today, they're so locked tight to the bottom. And so what we're doing is swimming the swim baits over top, and maybe one of every 5 or 6 looks up, sees it, boom, they come up. But they're doing that a little less aggressively than normal because of the weather change.
Another day at the office. I'm here with my longtime friend Gord Pizer, and Gord, you know, a lot of people ask me, how do you pick a fishing lodge here in Ontario? Now, with 2/5 of all of the fresh water in the world being right here in the province of Ontario, the choices are endless, aren't they?
You know, Bob, we have 400,000 lakes, that's almost 500,000 water bodies. And when you think of species like muskies, we're here in Kenora, we have all of the world's best muskie waters. There's St. Lawrence, the Ottawa, Lake of the Woods, Rainy, Lac Sewell. It's endless. And that makes it hard to pick the lodges.
Okay, and then you got to decide, are you going to go for walleyes, bass, muskies, you know, trout, salmon? It doesn't matter.
You can drive to, you can fly in, you can do it yourself, you can have American plan with all the meals. And what that means is go to a good reputable source like the regional tourist bureaus. We're here in Kenora, Sunset Country Tourism, and the entire north of the province is divided up into these areas based on mostly the key centers, so Thunder Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, places like that. If you go online and Google and you're going to give the folks the locations, talk to the experts and then find a good spot that suits your what you're looking for.
Yeah, and it really all depends on the species you're after and how much you want to spend, because there's fishing trips at all levels in different prices, right?
And Bob, you can pull your own boat, you can rent a boat, or you, as I said before, you can have a guide. So you're absolutely right, all those options.
And for more information as well, you can go to Go Fish in Ontario, and there's a lot of information there as well, Gord. Very cool. Whoa, Gord.
This is maybe a little better fish.
Is it?
Maybe.
All right.
I wonder if it's another pike.
Nice walleye.
Nice
oh,
walleye.
yeah.
The hits are worth the price of admission.
Oh,
eh? But- and
Gord,
look-
oh,
look-
nice one.
Look at the bait. Where is it?
Where is it? It is in that nice golden brown walleye's yap. And Gord, really, this is what it's all about, isn't it? It's just triggering strikes on fish that either are active or inactive, huh?
Yes. Yeah, Bob, you know, we love to make excuses,
Right?
but they're always biting somewhere and they're always biting something. And right now, that's what they're biting.
Hollow belly, Berkeley hollow bellies. Worked aggressively, dragging it off the bottom. Gord, man, thanks a bunch. This is just awesome.
Oh, Bob,
awesome.
you know what?
I got my other hand on my rod here. I'm still fishing, but you know, you've told me about this
I
for
know,
years.
and that's what I was going to say. I died to get you to come up here and do this.
Well, this is Ontario Sunset Country we're in, fishing beautiful Lake of the Woods. And Gord, you've tried this technique all over, and it works for walleyes in Bay of Quinte and out in the western provinces.
Last Mountain, Lake Saskatchewan, everywhere we've gone, it has worked, and everywhere we've gone, people will say it won't work, and it does.
Okay, folks, on that note, we'll see you next week. And no, this technique does not work. Yeah, all right. This is a big fish. That is a fish of a lifetime. Well, that is just amazing.
Look at that thing.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, man. Woo. That was too cool. Oh, man, what a fish. Look at that.